Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Dr. Jiyeh. I believe knowledge is power and sharing is caring. I will be bringing facts and evidence into light and also share areas of my passion, including medicine, health, fitness, and lifestyle. If this is your first time checking out my video, make sure to subscribe to my channel by clicking the button below and also turn on your notification bell so that you don't miss out on my upcoming videos. We have been getting a lot of recommendations in terms of importance of hand hygiene and physical distancing to protect us and other people from contracting COVID-19. At the same time, there's been emerging recommendation about wearing a mask as well. Personally, when I go outside, I've been seeing mix of people, so those who wear a mask versus who don't. So today, I want to share some evidence and facts behind importance of wearing a mask in the public, especially during COVID-19 pandemic, and also 8 tips that you should remember when you're wearing a mask to properly protect yourselves and other people. So I wanted to begin by sharing some evidence and facts behind the importance of wearing a mask. So there's been a new study on May 13th that was published by PNAS, and that is Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences of the United States of America. What they found was that 1 minute of a loud speech can produce thousands of droplets that can actually stay up in the air. And they also found out that these droplets can stay in the air for up to 14 minutes. The typical range was from 8 to 14 minutes, and they said this was long enough time for those droplets to be inhaled by people that are actually surrounding that person. And also, they emphasized that this could be one of the primary methods of transmission of the virus from one person to another. So there hasn't been any studies that look specifically into use of mask in terms of prevention of a transmission of COVID-19. However, there have been multiple studies that have been done in the past that looked into use of mask for prevention of other respiratory viruses like common cold. What they found was that in terms of using a mask in the healthcare settings, there wasn't any statistical significance between surgical mask and N95 mask. However, surgical mask was superior to just wearing a cloth mask in terms of preventing transmission of a respiratory virus by 2%. When they looked into use of a mask in the community, they found out that if people were to be compliant and use a mask properly, they could actually reduce the transmission of a virus by 6%. So what's the bottom line that you should take home? First of all, we know that Dr. Theresa Tam has recently made an announcement that recognizes the value of wearing a mask in the community. We also do recognize that it is an important way to prevent the transmission of COVID-19 in the community, in addition to hand hygiene and social distancing. Currently, WHO recommends wearing a mask to those who have symptoms, for example, like cough, feeling short of breath, or sneezing, and those who are healthy but are providing a care to possible suspected COVID-19 cases. However, there's been an increasing move towards universal masking, and that means when you're going to a public, you should try to wear a mask regardless of whether you have symptoms or not. And this becomes particularly important when you're going outside to places where it becomes very difficult for you to practice physical distancing, for example, like grocery shopping. And it is important to remember that you don't necessarily have to wear a surgical mask. You could wear a cloth mask that you can easily make at home. And wearing something is always better than wearing nothing. And why is it so important for us to wear a mask? And that's because there have been studies that actually estimated that asymptomatic carriers can consist of up to 6 to 13% in the community, or it could actually go up to as high as 50%. That means that those people who actually have COVID-19 but never show symptoms would never know, and they are at the risk of possibly transmitting that virus to other people around them. And therefore, it is important for us to protect ourselves and other people by wearing a mask because we will never know who actually have COVID-19 or not until the universal testing becomes available to actually test everyone regardless of symptoms to see whether they have COVID-19. So now, I'm going to share 8 tips that you should remember when you're wearing a mask because wearing it properly is as important as wearing a mask to protect yourselves. First, don't use ripped or damp masks. They should go right into the garbage. And try to inspect your mask before wearing it. Second, don't wear a mask only to cover your mouth. It should cover your mouth, your chin, as well as your nose. Third, don't wear a loose mask. When you're wearing a mask, please adjust it after to make sure there's no gap between the sides. Fourth, don't touch the front of the mask. It's full of germs. And if you actually did by mistake, make sure to wash your hands after. 5. Don't remove your mask to talk to someone or do things that would actually require you to take off your mask or touch your mask. 6. Don't leave your mask within the reach of others. And when you're removing a mask, make sure to actually put it in a closed bin if possible. 7. Don't share your mask with other people. Even if it's your family members, it's still a no-no. 8. Don't reuse your single-use mask and also make sure to change into a new one once it becomes damp. I hope you guys found this video helpful and also enjoyable as well. And bottom line to take home would be making sure that you are wearing a mask when you're going outside, especially to places where it becomes hard to practice social distancing. And wearing a mask doesn't replace any other precautions measures that we should still practice. And that includes physical distancing and hand hygiene. If this is your first time checking out my video, make sure to subscribe to my channel by clicking the button below. And also turn on your notification bell to not miss my any upcoming videos. And I'll see you guys next time.